Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Hi, everyone. Today's Tuesday, October the 28th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. My name is Anne-Marie Band, charts by TrendSpider, and gamma lines from the most amazing Menther Q. Let's start a look at the E-mini S&P. Take a look at our measured move, folks. You just can't make it up. All right, so where do we sit? Yesterday, I said, listen, if we break out of this 1 hour patch, because of the congested event, we are very likely to walk up in a 1-to-1 space, break through the gamma wall, which was at 6,900. And we absolutely did that, came right into that measured move event at 6,914 or so. The gamma wall has been moved to 6,920. The call resistance wall has moved to 7,000, folks. 7,000. All right, let's take a look at the range. We talked about this, the wide lens of what price action has been doing since September's breakout. All right, so this is big. Let's draw Fibonacci. We have, what do I want to do here? You know what? Let's draw a box first. Let's draw a box. We have inventory accumulation. In general, between 6,630 it's got me at 6,611. I think I like 6,623, and we'll call value area high the top 6,800. Right? So that is 175 points. So if we add 175 points to that, that would be 69.75. And that happens to be gamma wall level 9. All right, let's see if we can find that another way. All right, so this is our range of motion. Let's see if I can get a Fibonacci that goes high, low. That one gives me 69.45. So that's high-low out of that range. We'll leave that there. Let's go back to the hourly. We know today we had a little bit of a pierce through in the pre-market. We know that the call wall is here at 69.20, just like yesterday. If we spend a lot of time chopping around here and we break, we will move into the call wall. That's not very far away, right? That's just 7 or 8 points. And so chances are testing that call wall not going to be unreasonable. Let's see what's happened technically. Trend is up, momentum is up, but waning. Now, it's also sideways. So momentum does have a tendency to wane when it's sideways. Let's draw a box around general inventory accumulation. The range is only about 15 points wide. And so if we are going to use that range in our morning setup today, we're going to see a test of that 69.25. That is right at gamma line 3. I know my lines are very fine because I don't want 52 lines there. So this is gamma line number 3, GEX3 at 69.25. If we do it again, we get to that 69.37. Now, let's talk about a retest and a drift down potentially. Momentum is waning, but trend is very strong. Dips or buys. First dip, 6,890. That's also just about where the anchored VWAP is from yesterday, 68.93. A little bit of the breakout, old resistance being tested as new support. What do we have on the horizon? We've got a Fed meeting, we've got earnings, we've got all kinds of noise in terms of news, tariff events, dips or buys. We're very far away from our 63 simple moving average, and 68.65 continues to be the bottom of the box. What's the halfway line here? We've got gamma line 4 that actually sits as old resistance, new support right here at 6,876. The moment, if we lose 68.65, we're going to have a problem. Right now, we are climbing this wall into 6,975, potentially. Not going to happen all in one day, right? We are not looking at a gap up. Price action is moving fairly nicely, but they're settling into another range event that could break to the north. So we see what's going on above, we see what's going on below, dips or buys, pre-market low 6,900, right? There's the gamma line. That's gamma line 1 now, that 6,900 area. And so we know where these lines sit. I don't want to draw a dozen of them, but I can erase them as the days go forward. So there we have the dip into support. Let's take a look at the NQ. The NQ also breaking out. Let's remove everything here so we can see what's going on. All right, range break, big upward move. It literally had one region of frontline support yesterday. That was 28,800, perhaps. 20, where's the wick right here? 28,816 or so. Doing the same thing, it is right at the top of the call wall. That's 26,000. Remember, the traders at the call wall do this sort of thing. They breach, see how much traction holds there, and they'll short it into a specific range. That range looks like it's about 50 points wide right now, for heaven's sakes. Right? A little bit more than 50 points. So that box is what we are going to look at. Could you trade out of that zone and say, hey, I'm just going to walk it right up there? Absolutely. That next line would be 100 points from the floor here. So 26,050. The gamma line of interest, gamma line 2, is up here at 26,100, right? Well, let's take a look at the measured moves. Let's go here to the 4-hour. See the range that they've been holding, very wide, right? 24,422, top of the range here. 25,354. So let's round that up to 1,100 points, right? No. 900 points. All right. So if we have 900 points here, it gives us 26,250 or so. Let's see if there's a gamma line up there. Here's 26,300. That's where the flows are giving us a target, right? 26,300. So that's an approximate motion. If we want to go low to high on the Fibonacci, or high to low, what do you know? We're sitting right here at this call wall. That could be the reason that they've got this call wall sitting here, but 26,600 is the rotation north. We're seeing a little bit of mean reversion in terms of less huge motion in the NQ relative to the ES, right? 0 DTE call wall all the way down here at 25,650. I don't know if they're going to do that. We expected them to come into that wall yesterday. They were like, no, I'm not doing it. So there are two gamma lines. One is 29,750. That's the higher of the two. Let's move that into the gamma line somewhere around there. Dips or buys. Momentum is still fairly solid from a 4-hour perspective, drifting a little lower, but you can see what the ranges are. They're $50 motions. Dips or buys, if you're thinking about a dip, looks to me like the anchored VWAP from the prior day is the same as a measured move to the south. That's 25,880, right? I suspect we have a little bit of a sideways move ahead on the day. Let's take a look at gold. Oh, surprise, surprise. No, not surprised. You guys know I am bearish gold right now. It is in a rotation. General rotation. Look, it came almost to the bottom of the box. That is pretty incredible. It could be that I measured the box just a little bit too big, but this is what I'm seeing. So I'm going to measure what I see, and that's going to give me the edge here at 3,900, the big fat round number. You know, they're going to try and bounce off of that. 3,901. So what do we think about going on here? What's momentum? It's down. What's trend? It's down. So what does it tell you? Bounces or sells? Bounces or sells? Now, if you're trading gold and you get direction wrong, you're going to get smoked. So what do you want to do? You want to look for a combination of old support confirming as new resistance, and you've got yourself a moving average or a gamma line or something that tells you, hey, we've got ourselves a floor. Okay? Now, remember the storyboard here. 4,000 is the big fat round number. When we had 4,000, we moved in a range almost to 4,200, right? So we're looking at about 200 points below 4,000 as a potential target zone around the big fat round number, okay? Ultimately, if I draw the box one more time, as it moves into the zone, we have this number at 3,740. Let's see how far back we have to go to see that. I have 3,750 right here, right? 3,755. Of course, you know, my thought is that we actually head to somewhere around this box, right? I'm looking for this 3,650 base ultimately for where we load up again. All right, but we're far from there, but you can see that. Now, let's say this was some sort of two-headed monster and we just hit a head and shoulders pattern. Low 4,000, high 4,400. That's 400 points below. That's my 3,600 target. Okay? I don't like using those kinds of measured moves. I would rather look at where's inventory? What did I do at inventory? How did inventory resolve? How did inventory resolve? Am I waiting until I see a space where inventory has been accumulating so I can either buy the base or trade the breakout or lack thereof? Okay? Super important. Lines in the sand for gold today. Retest of the value area low anywhere between 3,971, 3,960 to 3,900 to 38.18. I don't expect another monstrosity of a move. I expect some wiggling, right? Some congestion where traders go, okay, I got to take a breath. I got to see what's going on. And that's going to give us probably some more sideways rotation. SPY, lastly. Big gamma wall up at 700. Very nice. Upward flow. Very nice. Listen, are markets extended? Yeah, they probably are. Do traders care if they're trying to catch a run? No, they don't. All they are looking at is, am I continually making higher lows and higher highs? If that is the case, I'm trying to connect these two guys right here off of the VWAP. I've got myself trend. Remember, I don't use trend lines to take trades, but I sure do use them to tell me if I'm going in the right direction or not. Very important. We don't want to lose the bubble on that sort of thing. Okay? So, trend up, momentum up, dips or buys. Dips or buys. So, what are we looking for here? We are above the 0 DTE call wall, put wall well below 675. Everything looks like up, up, and away. You know, here's what's going to happen normally. Traders, we sit, well, people who are trading in the market, not traders per se. We sit and we look at the chart and we go, I just need a little pullback to go long. And day after day, we go, I just need a little pullback to go long. I just need a little pullback to go long. And it continues to rise. So there's a point, and the only place I can absolutely say that this happened, first we can use it like, all right, I'm sitting at an intersection and I'm waiting to merge in traffic, not really an intersection, but I'm waiting to get onto a main road, off a side road. And the traffic is moving and moving and moving and moving, and I get some spots and I go, I gotta wait. And I'm waiting forever, and I'm waiting so long, I change the distance that I think is acceptable between me and the next car. That's what happens to traders in this space. All of a sudden, a bunch of them will get in, we'll see a blow off top. That is what is coming in my mind. That's going to make next year pretty nerve-wracking, but a lot of places to make money now. So, what are we staring down in the SPY? Here's our box. Right? VWAP, we're above the VWAP, we're above the motion. If we clone the box today, and then once more, we get up to this 287, 289. Now, as I mentioned today, I I believe that we may indeed have ourselves a little bit of a sideways mishmash. Let's see how the measured move did yesterday. Okay, here's the box from yesterday. I said, hey, as long as we do not lose 682, everything's a buy the dip. And there was the breakaway, the halfway point, which should be the new area of support, could likely be the new area of support, 684. We got ourselves a little bit of gap action in terms of the measure of the move. But look at that, 2x. Right here at the top, this is, I think, we've measured it two different ways. So resistance sits at 686. The breakaway likely takes us to 688. All right, and the traders are preparing for a test of a call wall that is at 700. So here's the only thing that is a little worrying in terms of the month of November. Only 40% of the time in September are we positive. We were positive this past September. I don't know if that shifts the stats in October. I am going to ask Sidekick about that and see if it can give me some analysis. All right. At the end of the day, folks, trade what you see. Uptrend, uptrend, and momentum. Your dips are going to be buys. Why do I not say, hey, your breakaways are going to be buys? Your breakaways can be buys, but you're going to add risk. And risk is job one. It's job one, right? Remember, risk is job one. The way you focus on risk is by focusing on process, and using the word focus twice reminds me to tell you that focus is going to be your superpower. All right? Take care, everybody. I'll see you on the streams.